got an area where I need to build an altar for God. And when an altar for God was erected, guess what? He had an altar that could speak for him. Your problem is you have no prayer life that speaks for you. Most of you have no idea there is a technology of God called the technology of altars. It is where men become prosperous. It is where men are rich. It is where men of God are made. It is the material by which generals are created. Altars. If I have a problem with you, I know where to go. There is no place that sees me as much as that altar. It's not a ritualistic thing with rocks. No. It's just a place of meeting. I am with God every minute. I walk with God every minute. I'm never alone. But there is a place of dedication where I say, this location here, nobody enters. It's just me and you're missing this. That if I take you into that place, I've taken him to that place. If I take you into that place, I always do this. When I get in there, I switch off the lights. I said, because if you see lights here, you have problems with what you see. It's the truth. He can tell you. I get in that room, I say, switch off the lights. Close every curtain. Remove every source of light you see, because you see light here. And you can pray for 20 minutes, 10 minutes into it. And you see you see disco lights of the spirit. Why? Because places of altars. Listen to me. How do you get this? Where Isaac builds an altar. The Bible says, and he sowed in the land that is rocky and harvested 100-fold. Then God blessed him. Imagine. It was people were running away from the land. They were saying drought is everywhere. People were moving to other countries. But the man said, no, I have built an altar. So I'm not leaving. To the extent that the Bible says the Philistines envied him. Do you know what that means? That means the whole parliament of the Philistine nation looked at him and said, we wish we had the budget like Isaac's budget. When a country wishes it were you. Only because of an altar. I want to ask this one question. Do you have an altar in your house? Do you have a place where you meet God? Listen to me. There is a difference in getting into the bathroom and going like, while the shower is running, you go like, God, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. No, I'm not talking about that nonsense. Because even if you sing in the shower, you sound very good. I'm talking about a place you go to. It can be by the side of your bed. Where you rise up and you just go there and say, God, I'm here. Where you declutter your life around that place. Even if you are a sinner somewhere else, when it comes to that location, you don't do nonsense there. There is no phone call that is answered while I'm in that place. There is nobody that gets to that place and talks rubbish. There is no access I give to that. There is an altar, the technology of altars. Imagine before they did anything, Abraham, before he moved from one place to the other, you can see 4 altars. Every movement he made, it was an altar before pitching a tent. You're missing this. Because you came here for me to say, God is talking to me. There's this, your name is this. You know your name. I mentioned your address, you know your address. I mentioned what you dreamt. You are the one who did the movie in the spirit to dream. There's nothing special about that. It's just one or two to shock you for you to realize God is speaking. That's why I prophesy. But reality is, a man of altar is a man who can never be challenged in the place of his altar. No, you didn't hear me. Altars mark regions where you control. The moment I am in this place in Slough, I'm in this place in Peckham, I'm in this place in wherever it is, it might be Chelsea. When I put an altar, I say in this region, you don't challenge me. Right. Hallelujah. If you want to challenge me, you challenge my altar. Oh, you didn't hear what I just said. The reason why everyone challenges you and they win is because you have no altar in any region. Generals of God, everywhere they went to, they placed an altar. It is a technology of an altar. It marks regions. Whew. Men of power and men of influence always find an altar before their best. Abraham built an altar. The Bible talks of Isaac. He sowed in a land. It was a rocky place. Everything was messed up. And the men, and the men immediately built an altar to God.